Hey, it's Ed Moses here. Welcome to Project Mindset. I put these videos together because I have a strong belief that there is a better way, and with these videos I hope that I can help you see that there is a better way of doing things and getting to where you want to go in life than the path that's, that most everybody else takes. But today I have a little book review that I have done I'm doing on the Isaiah Effect. It's another Gregg Braden book, and I've been reading a lot of his books lately, and this will be the third one. And I'll tell you what, his books are hard for me to put down. These things are really interesting. I'm finding them to be very interesting because, even though I'm into business and I have my businesses and all that, I find it important on a spiritual side to understand some things that make us tick. I don't think you can have a well-versed business if you don't understand what's coming from your heart and the heart of other people. And through a lot of these books that I'm reading, I'm finding some excellent information that can help guide me and hopefully help guide you to find some better answers for yourself. And this is probably one of those books that I can't say enough good things about, because what it's done for me is really open up a new side of thinking that I never really thought about before. And well, I'm going to introduce a little bit of this to you. What is the Isaiah Effect exactly? Well, the Isaiah Effect is actually, there's a gospel from the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Dead Sea Scrolls was found, it says here, in 1946. They discovered the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1946, and Isaiah, there was some writings by Isaiah in this, and what it did, I would like to look at it as, and I think Gregg is saying the same thing, that it kind of confirms some spiritual things that other cultures and other religions have also been saying in ancient texts of their own for years, and some are still practicing today. But what this also kind of confirms is some of the original text that was removed from the Bible. And if you don't know about that, about around 325 A.D., many Gospels were removed from the original Bible because the Council of Nice decided that a lot of it was repetitive and they didn't think we needed to see it. However, sadly, a lot of the information they did remove from the original biblical text went hand in hand with how things work and how things should work, especially when it comes to the subject of prayer. That's kind of really what this is about, the subject of prayer. Now I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, this is a Christian thing, religion, blah, blah, blah. Well, no. Actually, prayer is not just a Christian thing. Prayer is something that is done by many different cultures and many different religions. And it is more of it's part of a ritual. However, what happened when they removed the original Gospels from the Bible back in 325 A.D., what had happened was, although we knew, or there was an understanding in Christianity that prayer was part of the religion, they didn't tell you how prayer was supposed to be done any longer. That was removed, so people really didn't know how to pray anymore. Prayer was not something that was really understood. So what had happened over the years, people started or praying for something in the future to occur or happen for them, to solve a problem or a loved one's problem, or whatever it is that was really on their mind. So what had happened over the years, people started praying for something out in the future. Well, what Gregg's saying in this book is that prayer is actually not something that you do for the future. And through like the Dead Sea Scrolls, the books from the ancient Essenes, even if you go back and you look at like the Native American Indians, or even go down to Peru, to the early religions down there, and all of these different cultures, and even in Tibet, the monks, they don't pray for something in the future. They pray for something that, and in their minds, believe it has already happened. They believe it is something that has already happened. It's not something that you pray for the future to happen. And through Gregg's experience with a Native American Indian, he was actually had the opportunity to go and see one of his prayers, one of his rituals, during a period of time in the West, the Southwest, where they were having a lot of dry spell, a lot of drought, and the crops were looking bad. And his friend David, I think his name was David, he said, they took him out to this ancient or Indian ritual ground, and he stood there and thanked his ancestors, and then went into a silent prayer. He couldn't hear him, and afterwards he turned around and says, "This was great, let's go grab a bite to eat, I'm hungry." And Gregg's like, "I thought you were going to pray." And he says, "I did." He says, I don't do a prayer. I don't do a prayer for rain. He says, I pray. Because if I prayed for rain, it would never happen, because I am praying for something out in the future. But if I pray, it is something that will happen right now. So even the usage of the word is a little different from what we use in the Christian cultures, and as opposed to the other cultures. And so essentially what we've got is some lost knowledge that we should never have lost, actually. But because of this removal over the years, we have this knowledge that it went away. We didn't realize, after thousands of years, we just forgot about it. And even though these texts still still exist, they are still there. They are only open for people that are different theologians and different study groups and universities and stuff like that. They can actually view this stuff. It's not open to the public. You can't just go and get these texts and find this information. But Gregg, being who he is, you actually have these opportunities to see this stuff. What's crazy though, going back to the Indian ritual with the rain, it actually did rain that day, which I found quite amazing. There was another really cool part in this book where he was actually going to Cairo by car from, I forget, from one city to the next, and I guess it was normally like a 6-hour drive, and they actually made this trip in 4 hours, and nobody could figure out how they did this. How was this possible that a 6-hour trip turned into a 4-hour trip? Well, they go back, Gregg's hypothesis on that was because everybody in that car, or a majority of the people in that car, were all concentrating on the arrival, or actually being at the pyramid in Cairo, that somehow that caused some sort of I forget what exactly he called it, but it brought them there sooner, and it was all through this mental and ability that he claims that we have as human beings. That we have it's really as everything to do with just like this thing with the rain that this American Indian had created. So basically, the way I look at this, and the way I feel it will help me with my business and possibly help you with your business, is if you take the same knowledge, even if you don't believe it, try it. Take the same knowledge and believe in your heart that your success has already happened, that you have already encountered all these great things in your life, and believe it, pray it, and boom, you know, who knows what you'll find. Perhaps you will find that success just by doing something that the ancients did years and years and years ago, long before we were ever here. So, but overall, I think this book is an awesome book. I would recommend it to anybody to read. There's some wonderful stories in there, some wonderful scientific evidence of how some of this, this works. Even though we can't prove everything through science, when it comes to spirituality, there's some things science can back up, and there's some things science just doesn't understand. It just isn't there. But just because science does not understand or cannot come up with the answers for something does not necessarily mean that this is not true. It doesn't work. It's not. I don't believe that. I think there's some things that we just will never quite understand. Perhaps after more years and more new equipment and technology, perhaps we will understand more. But in the meantime, keep your mind open and keep your hearts open and listen and learn. You don't know how much this could really help you until you actually take it and use it in your life and make it a part of your life. Anyway, I appreciate you take the time to watch this video. I hope that you'll go grab yourself a book, a copy of this book, and take the time and read it. And I hope that you found this to be you somewhat educational. And if you did so, please give me a thumbs up. And again, I hope that I can offer you something that can change your life, and I believe that I can. So I thank you again. Have a great day. We will talk to you later. Bye.